When Anthony Davis entered the league in 2012, the weight on his shoulders was far heavier than the usual expectations of a #1 pick. He wasn't just the hope of New Orleans, he was their only chance to escape the pit of obscurity the team had fallen into after Chris Paul's departure. It felt like the dawn of a new era. A fading franchise had finally found its superstar. But as the years passed, greatness never arrived. Instead, injuries, coaching changes, a hopeless roster, and chronic disappointment. The media and fans began to question, was Davis truly who they thought he was? Or just another stat sheet monster who couldn't carry a team? Then came the 2017-18 season. After 5 long years stuck in the mud, everything changed. Anthony Davis grabbed that cursed season by the throat and began choking out anything in his path. He no longer asked for help, he was the help. He didn't wait for leadership, he became the face of fury. This was the year the Brow transformed from a star into a monster, a merciless, all-consuming, unstoppable giant who tore through the NBA like a force of nature. Chapter 1. A desperate start. When everything falls apart. Again, the season began with high hopes. The Pelicans' front office bet on a towering duo, Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. The media dubbed them the Twin Towers of the Apocalypse, two terrifyingly skilled bigs who could dominate both inside the paint and beyond the arc. Things started well. The team was building chemistry. Cousins was averaging 25 a game. Davis was efficient and consistent. By January, the Pelicans were firmly in the playoff picture. It looked like the New Orleans Giant was finally rising. Then, on January 26th, disaster struck. Cousins tore his Achilles. It wasn't just a blow to the roster, it was a dagger to the heart of their hopes. Without Cousins, most assumed the team would collapse, and they were expected to. But Anthony Davis didn't just refuse to collapse, he raged. This was the kind of moment that breaks a player or awakens the beast within. And in Davis, a predator awoke, one we had only seen in glimpses before. Chapter 2. The Brow's Uprising, 6 weeks of terror. The next 6 weeks became one of the most dominant individual stretches in modern NBA history. From January 28th through mid-March, Anthony Davis absolutely destroyed everything in his path. His stats weren't just numbers, they were the screams of a man fed up with pity. 32.3 points, 13.3 rebounds, 2.4 steals, and 2.6 blocks over 21 games. MVP-level efficiency, 61% TS, 34% usage, top 3 in the NBA in win shares and PER. He scorched everyone. Jokic, crushed. Towns, flailing in the paint. Draymond Green, like a child against a titan. His masterpiece was a 53-point, 18-rebound, 5-block demolition of the Suns in regulation. During those weeks, Davis wasn't just good, he was divine. He became the first player in NBA history to record 4 games of 45-plus points and 15-plus rebounds in a single month. But the most important part? The Pelicans didn't just survive, they surged. With a 14-7 record, they climbed back into the West's top 6. What looked like disaster had become a proving ground for greatness. Chapter 3. Beyond the numbers. How Davis became a leader. People used to say, Davis is great but soft, that he lacked fire, the kind of energy that turns elite players into feared ones. But this season he was different. No longer a big who needs the right system, he started creating the system. He ran pick and pops, isolated defenders, sprinted the break like a forward, and anchored the paint like a defensive god. His defense was lethal. He shut down everything. Threes, mid-range drives, pick and rolls. His presence in the paint read like a warning sign. Opposing stars altered their entire approach just to avoid him. No other player in the league had this level of two-way impact during that stretch. Even more significant, he became the voice of the team. Without Cousins, without veterans, Davis spoke up in the locker room. He lifted teammates. He took responsibility. This was new. He wasn't hiding behind numbers anymore. He was charging forward even when he stood alone. Chapter 4: Spring Explosion. The playoffs where everyone took notice. By the time the playoffs arrived, the Pelicans had secured the 6th seed, facing Portland with Damian Lillard. Every prediction leaned Blazers, experience, depth, stability. But Davis had other plans. A 4-0 sweep, total annihilation. Davis averaged 33 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks on 57% shooting. He was a storm, uncontainable, unpredictable, all-consuming. Portland had no answers. Double teams. He kicked out to Meritic or Holiday. One-on-one. Dead body. Switch a guard. Immediate destruction. The climax came in Game 4. 47 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, his highest-scoring playoff game to that point. He single-handedly ended the series. He dragged New Orleans into the second round. It was the moment the league could no longer pretend Davis was just a good big. This was a top-5 player making his claim. Yes, the next round was against Golden State, with Durant. The Pelicans lost. But Davis still held his ground. 27.8 points, 14.8 rebounds per game against the best team on earth. He didn't flinch. Chapter 5: The Verdict. Greatness that came too late. The 2017-18 season was Anthony Davis's moment of truth. He didn't just post great numbers, he redefined his identity. He proved he could be a leader, an alpha, a defensive anchor, and offensive engine, all at once. He evolved from soft star to a giant who led, defended, shouted, commanded, and won. His season stats: 28.1 points, second in the league, 11.1 rebounds, 2.6 blocks, NBA leader, 58% true shooting, 28.9 per hour, second in the league, top 3 in both MVP and DPOY voting. This was his peak, matching the level of LeBron, Harden, and Durant. But sadly, the following season unraveled it all. Injuries, trade demands, and eventually his move to the Lakers. Still, if you had to pick one season where Anthony Davis was the ultimate version of himself, it was 2017-18. Conclusion: the legacy of the brow, and a question that haunts us. This season wasn't just a statistical eruption. It was the story of a lone warrior defying fate and winning, if only briefly. It was the tale of a player once doubted, transforming into an unstoppable beast, a tragedy and a triumph rolled into one. In 2017-18, Anthony Davis wasn't just great, he was absolute. And we're still left wondering, what if he had one more chance? What if this season wasn't an episode, but the beginning of a dynasty?